Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633, back with another Star Wars review. Today we're going to take a look at the Star Wars 6-inch Black Series clone, Captain Rex. Now this is one of the figures that were the most anticipated for this entire line, since Captain Rex is actually one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars lore, and I'm finally glad to be able to review and take a look at Captain Rex in the 6-inch Black Series scale. We've actually gotten a couple of Rexes throughout the couple of years, and while obviously the prequel characters, or the prequel time characters, aren't really represented that much in the line, it's very nice to actually see another clone released in this modern 6-inch Black Series scale. We did get a Rex in the Rebels line, but that was about it in terms of returning prequel characters, and also Ahsoka and a few other things. But other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot of presence in really any of the lines, outside of maybe some of the recent waves before the ones leading into the new movie. So anyways, we're now going to take a look at the presentation and contents. To start off, we're going to take a look at the box. The box is in your standard 6-inch Black Series scale. It has a picture of Captain Rex there. On the side, it shows that it is number 59 of the releases. And on the back, we have a bio, which actually mentions, obviously, Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker, which I know it's pretty much just a bio, but I really hope that Hasbro releases a new Anakin Skywalker, either being a Attack of the Clones version, another version of Revenge of the Sith, or something, because the original one is really hard to get a hold of. That aside, we're now going to take a look at the contents of the box. In terms of the contents, technically we do have a removable pauldron, but you do need to remove the head in order to take it off, and I have actually never taken off the head of this particular figure, so I don't think it's going to be very easy to pull off, so I'm just going to leave it on. It does have removable helmets with a fully functioning scope and 2 of his blasters. The Hascon version of this release had a slightly different head because the paint scheme was different. This version of the figure actually has the face print technology for it, so that's really awesome for this release. But it does have a lot less weapons. So in terms of actual contents, I still give it about a 10 out of 10. Sorry, 5 out of 5, I'd say. Just because he does have everything that he needs out of the box. Now we're going to take a look at the features. In terms of articulation, the head is on the standard ball joint, and even with the helmet, it actually does not restrict it really at all, so that's really awesome. As mentioned before, he does have the working scope, so that's really awesome to actually see. He does have ball hinges at the shoulders. He does have double joints at the elbows, so that's really nice. Full joints on the wrists. Waist articulation with no problems. Fully jointed hips, swivels at the thighs, double joints at the knees, and fully jointed ankles. So you're going to get a whole lot of articulation for this particular figure. As mentioned earlier, the head is molded underneath the helmet, so you do need to remove the helmet in order to see it. And I think it actually has a very good likeness to Tamela Morrison, and it's very nice that we actually gotten a face print on this particular release. Now, Captain Rex has not appeared per se in the live-action films, although recently, because of the end of Rebels, technically Rex was at the Battle of Endor, who was the old man at that entire battle there, so that was actually kind of cool that Rebels actually pretty much made it canon that Rex was indeed the old man in the original trilogy, so that's really cool. Other than that, he does include fully working holsters, which you can place the blasters into, so that's really cool. And he does feature some soft goods, which is on the actual comic piece around here. So that's really cool that we actually have some soft goods here. And obviously this is something that could be problematic for a lot of figures, since soft goods sometimes make the figure look very goofy and very poofy. But luckily it's in a place where it actually makes a lot of sense and doesn't really hinder the design whatsoever. So overall, in terms of features, you're going to get a lot of articulation as pretty much all the other clones. So, I give this figure a 5 out of 5, since it's really awesome that we actually got a 6-inch figure for Captain Rex. So in terms of overall value, you do have a lot of stuff going for it. Obviously, it doesn't come with a whole lot of accessories, but the new face print on this new version of Rex, along with the removable helmets and the overall design, which I did forget to mention, has a lot of weathering and details throughout the figure. It really does help give it more character than a lot of other figures have, so I highly recommend picking this up, since it is a very good value figure, so I give this a 5 out of 5. And with this, I'm pretty much caught up with the 6-inch releases for the clone-style characters released in this line. Obviously, there's a few missing, including what I could tell. I think there might have been a weather version of the Phase 1 clone, and I definitely am missing the standard Phase 1 clone, so it's really nice that we got a bunch of trooper variants already in the 6-inch Black Series scale, although it's definitely not as fast as maybe the Stormtrooper variants, just because of the fact that, unfortunately, the prequel-styled characters really don't get as much input compared to the sequel trilogy and the original trilogy styled characters. And here's a bonus comparison next to the Jango Fett that was released last year. Now this is where it's kind of weird, since they are supposed to be a clone of the original Jango Fett. It is weird that the figures are quite different, especially in terms of head scale. The overall helmet sizes are also different, since this one can't fit on this figure, and this helmet is way too big for the Captain Rex here. So it is weird what happened here. So it's not just the face print that's different, the overall head sculpts are definitely different scale, and the figures are also at different heights. So I can understand what's going on since they were released at different times, although it is a bit weird since they are still supposed to be clones, so when you look at this, it doesn't really look that accurate next to each other at least. In conclusion, I have to say this Rex is a fantastic figure. It's definitely well worth the wait to actually see this figure finally get released. It was a hassle to actually track this down, and it goes for a lot of money on the secondary market, so it has popped out a few times at Gamestop, which is the place that I ended up finally getting it, but a few places like Target, and I think maybe a few Walmarts that I'm not 100% sure this figure was actually spotted at. So your best bet is to check around there, and maybe eventually, once again, Hasbro Toy Shop, since it did sell out a little while back, and I think Amazon might eventually get it soon, but I can't really be sure on that. So I highly recommend tracking this down ASAP, since this is a fantastic figure. Anyways, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hero Taku. Also check me on Twitter, Darkon633, and also me on Instagram under Darkon633 as well. Please check the little bell at the bottom of the screen in order to see my content go up as soon as possible. And also, please check down the other channels down below. I'll be back with more Star Wars reviews, but for now, I'll be seeing you later, YouTube. Bye.